The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have going on today? Well, we're up a lot more than I thought we would be. It looked like everything was coming together on the vote for the tax bill. Now the question is it sell the news? And, of course, already have bought the rumor. This is pretty much where we get to the point where now, of course, we're in we're in fund buying. And the question is, did everybody just go ahead and buy in the last 2 days, not leaving a lot of extra cash? Even then, it's not uncommon for especially the big men of Wall Street to kind of hold the market up for a few days and make sure and get all that cash in at the highest price. I'm not expecting a big pullback, but other than one other issue, which is the debt ceiling, which House Speaker Ryan talked about earlier today, which kind of made it sound like there wasn't going to be a big problem on that. We probably, we've got a little earnings after the bell tonight, but after that, we don't have a lot of news to drive the market. And this is where I really like picking up a handful of stocks with high short positions, and the market just kind of going sideways, and you get those shorts covering, and you get a nice little bounce, a lot more than the market can produce. I had some emails coming in just before the show, so I'll go ahead and answer that one right now. And the question was, have I been long? And the answer is yes. I've had 4 positions long in both of the newsletters for the last 2 weeks? I think the last 2 weeks, something like that, 10 days, 2 weeks. I haven't been flushed because this could have gone a very different way. So I was looking for stocks that wouldn't be greatly affected to the downside if this tax bill all did blow up and maybe the debt ceiling thing all blow up. So could there have been more money on the table? There could. But again, the return of your money is more important than the return on your money. And things can always go different. I love to trade markets where we figure out what a lot of people were going to do. It's much tougher to trade for a handful of people, even 535 people in Washington, and what they're going to do. I like it when the politics gets out of the market. And I'm kind of looking forward to next year because other than the FOMC, I don't think we're going to hear a lot more about it. And I think we're on a course where we kind of know what the FOMC is going to do, albeit maybe a little bit more dovish last year than what we're probably going to hear in the next, the 13th? 13th or the 5th? Yeah, I think it's 13th. So we're going to, we don't have much going on. Anything that they say at this Fed meeting doesn't mean a lot. You're losing a bunch of Fed governors. We'll basically take a read in February when all that changes. So, again, I think we've got maybe, 60 days, 70 days without earnings. Well, probably 60 days without significant earnings before we get back into those, without a lot of Washington, D.C. tax and debt deals and all the other stuff. They can go back to causing trouble elsewhere. I always liked Mr. Marx, not the communist, the other one of the Marx brothers, who always said that the business of politics is looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, and prescribing the wrong solutions. But you never know. Anyway, as we said, we're kind of off the top about 11 points on the S&P. We're up 20. Dow's up 300. The Nasdaq's up 46.5. Going to be a little bit of people thinking that maybe there's a top in the semis, at least for a little while. We'll look at some of these stocks, but my guess is just like we've seen and most everybody's talked about, it's all about sector rotation. It's all about skating to the where the puck is going for next year. I think that there are probably some stocks people are going to get out of. There's going to be stocks people getting into. This may be one of the best years for stock pickers, at least for the first couple of months, as probably a lot more of the traditional straight earnings thoughts instead of the headlines in the newspaper about politics drives the market. So we'll see how that works out. But pretty good day shaping up here. And, of course, I'm really jazzed because it's only, 8 days or 7 days. I'm going to say 8 days to something I've looked forward for several months. They always cancel one of your TV shows even though you like it. And I know that sometimes they run out of juice. But the Psych movie's coming back on the 7th of December. A 2-hour Psych movie. Everybody will be able to try to spot the pineapple wherever it is in that movie. But I always love that show. Always was fun. So I've got stuff to look forward to, even though if it's minor in December. We're going to probably have a much better two-way market in the next year. So looking forward to a lot of things, sitting on my hands for my long positions and thinking that at least some of them are doing pretty good today. So I think that's about it. We'll get into a little history today.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Everybody thinks that everything is new because we don't live long enough and certainly don't pay attention to history. But on this day in 1950, President Truman announces during a press conference that he's prepared to authorize the use of atomic weapons in order to achieve peace in Korea. At the time of Truman's announcements, Communist China had joined North Korean forces in the attacks of the United Nations troops, including U.S. soldiers who were trying to prevent communist expansion in South Korea. Truman blamed the Soviet Union for using communist Chinese insurgents as a devious plan to spread communism into Asia and pledged increasing our defenses to a point where we can talk, as we should always, with authority. And, of course, in 1950, a lot of airplanes were shot down on both sides, MiGs for their side, as we started to actually get up to speed on our, F-86 Sabres. Of course, the big secret that no one wanted to talk about, 1951, was, of course, Soviet pilots in those MiG-17s coming down MiG Alley. No one wanted to say anything. They didn't give them parachutes. They just let them explode. But nothing's new under the sun on this day.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we've been talking about it. The first question is, am I seeing this pattern that I liked in gold as a bigger pattern out here? And you're getting kind of close. Let me go ahead and zoom in here on this triangle pattern, which I think get it a little bit bigger so everybody can see. And let's just draw a couple of lines. Okay. We're getting awful close on the downside. What I've always wanted to see, although it didn't work in natural gas, at least in the UNG, was a break below and then a pop right back into the triangle. 4 out of 5 times is good enough. Didn't work on the UNG, which probably makes our odds a little bit better on GLD. I've been hoping that this thing would get down to about 119 on at least on the GLD. At 119, if this thing kind of gives a lot of juice, falls, basically everybody kind of gives up on gold and hates it, that may be the actual good time to buy it. I understand all the great arguments for both inflation and what additional government spending will do. It may just be a little early and may just get a little bit of a whipsaw here before we start. But if you're looking at going long gold and not just having money and sitting on your hands in it, there may be some other smaller patterns that I'm ignoring here at the moment. I'm actually hoping for a much bigger pattern. I tend to play gold on a much longer scale than most. But that would be it. 119, somewhere in there. Break out of this triangle that's been developing since 114.80. That's what is it here? Not that one. 114.80, which goes back to July 7th. That would be a fairly nice pattern. And again, you don't need to get down to 116. If this thing's going to just break out of this consolidation, you're probably getting 119, maybe into the 118s or something before this thing turns around. But it doesn't mean it will happen. just that your risk reward is incredibly good if you do get that 119 level, and everybody gets washed out. Everybody hates gold. Kind of the best of all those worlds. Other things going on out here, of course, got some questions. And again, you can email me at path@tfnn.com. I've got a bunch of emails already sitting here. Try to get to them all. You can also give me a call at 877-927-6648 as you think about buying some Tiger dollars. We'll talk more about that later. Anyway, the first question I got for today is, what do I think of the SMHs? Well, you certainly broke underneath any kind of short-term trend. I use the 3x3, but you could also use the 9-day simple moving average. We can go to that real quick. Take a look at a traditional moving average. The 3x3 just is a little faster moving than the 9-day. Anyway, you closed underneath that significantly the last couple of days. You're going to do that for a few times. I would still want this thing to kind of go back up, and especially kind of getting to the end of the year. It's going to be, I would imagine a lot of people actually did short the SMHs yesterday. In fact, let me give you the actual number out here. Let's just go back through it. On the 22nd, you had 11% of the orders initiated as short positions. Didn't mean those folks went home short, but they initiated it. That was on the 22nd. On the 24th, you had 14%. On the 27th, you had 10%. See, on the 28th, you had 18%. And yesterday, you had 24%. So pretty good indication that when everybody dives in to the deep end on shorting something, you're probably pretty close to at least a short-term low in this. Again, do I think this is going to break out above 105 before the end of the year? Probably not. You're probably looking at probably the top of yesterday's candle, and that, of course, is 104.04. Could you get back in there? I think that people are going to want to try to jump on the SMHs at in the 105s. Could really good news come in? That'd be kind of tough. The only stock that I really think of that could change or that's going to get that kind of possible news before the end of the year would be huge upswing in Apple deliveries for their iPhone 10. Come on. There we go. And, you did go through the previous low on higher volume yesterday. I do recognize that in Apple. But again, this is the best time of the year for Apple. I think it's going to be very tough, so close to recent highs, that we don't at least go back and retest it again. You pretty much tested the candle of November 8th on that had 35 million shares with 25 million shares on November 24th. And I think you're going to probably see one more test up here, and you can probably bet it's going to be on light volume coming in to the end of the year, but another 175 would give you a triple top, and I think you're going to get a good signal out there starting probably January 3rd on whether or not Apple had gangbuster sales, got their poo together. Can I say poo? Get their poo together and get those iPhone 10s out the door. We'll figure that out. But a lot of shorts in the SMHs. Let's take a quick look at what Apple did yesterday, too. Not a lot of people shorting Apple last couple of days, although you did have a little bit of a spike on the 27th up here. But so they're still on the right side of that big kind of big day of shorting. But again, my guess is that in the next few days you'll see this good numbers, or as long as they don't get some really horrible news, kind of drift back up to around that 175 at the end of the year. But kind of risk reward there is kind of poor, isn't it? If really good news came out, then maybe that would change it. But this kind of late in the season, kind of hard to figure out that these guys are really going to get it in gear and start delivering the kind of iPhone 10 numbers that they need, at least for this quarter. To see if we have anything else out here. Okay, question about IBM. Has anything changed? Don't think so. Held up fairly well in the last couple of days, but again, it's not uncommon to see stocks that are heavily shorted like IBM drift higher. Yesterday, 15% of the shares were initiated, or trades were initiated with short position. But you are up against this ledge that started on the 25th of October all the way through the 2nd of November, and you're going to be hit fairly steep resistance. Same thing in the IBB. We have it. But give me a ring at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And we'll look at IBB when we get back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we are back. Well, got a few. We got to the IBB. We've got a nice little pop out here today. Not a lot of juice between it. 653,000 shares. Looks like it's just going to go back up here to a resistance level, which is this gap down on the 10th or on the October 26th, excuse me, 2.3 and 2.35 million shares. The problem is today we got about 653,000. As we said yesterday, still going to have kind of a cloud over this this sector, and might be thinking about individual stocks in the biotech, pharma area for a little while. But yeah, could you get to 322? I think you could out there. We had somebody yesterday ask about CMG. I thought it would get to the 308. I haven't had a chance to look at it today. Oh, come on. Everything's just so slow today. Well, I guess I'm pretty good here. 308.18 is what I show for the high today. And I would have had my order in there for the 308 to execute. Again, you kind of want to get right about halfway in to these whatever's left of the gap. That seems to where the first level of resistance almost always comes in. If you're stronger, maybe in a day or two, these things can go higher. But the sure money is pretty much you're going to find a lot of people starting to short these things at about 308. And I had traded it back when it was trading in this area a while back. Oh, wow. Long. Is that right? Where's it at? Yeah. Back in this area, which was, is that right? This summer? Man, it seems like a whole long time ago. Maybe it was longer than that. I can't remember. I remember the 308 number. But that's where you kind of top ticked it today. I don't know if we have any word on whether or not the caller actually took the 308, but right into that number today. And again, you got 941,000 shares compared to 3.3 million shares. That's kind of telling you this thing's probably going to back in to this double gap, which comes in at about 288, something like that. Long term, you would love to see this thing test $263 on light volume to make a long-term bottom. This is just a kind of a nice little pop over the last couple of days. Okay, what else do we have? Question about whether they should buy NVIDIA. NVDA. Yesterday, you had 20% of all trades initiated by shorts positions. As I said earlier in the show, doesn't mean that those went home. They could have shorted in the morning and covered in the afternoon, but gives you an indication that there were a lot of people that would have to have either covered yesterday or today. Now, a little bounce up here today, not much volume. And again, this is probably going to, at least on the sector side, you're probably going to have a lot better luck getting into stocks that didn't have these huge hammers, not hammers, but huge moves down. In this case, to 191.23. Could it go sideways for a little while and maybe back up to 210 by Christmas time? I think it could. But you're going to, again, have to have some huge numbers coming in. And every day that you get a lot more people shorting these stocks, the story is better for it getting back up to these previous highs. But I like to be in stocks that have a lot more upside than these. And, you get $5-10 on a $200 stock. Not a lot of reward for a risk if anything happens. You never know when Rocket Man's going to get all excited, drop a M80 on us. But I want a little bit more out there, maybe a little greedier. So we'll just take a look at that. Let's get into some other ones. Do I have any other emails out here now, or did we get to them all? Question about whether or not you'd buy the dip in Autodesk, ADSK. Now, Autodesk came out and said that they were going to write everything off. Oh, I should have played my Seinfeld. They're writing it off. Drop. But, of course, huge move out here. And the reason why you want to give these stocks that are talking about any kind of big write-offs now a big wide berth for a while is that those write-offs don't seem to end with the first one. It is, and you are always waiting for the next shoe to drop. In the case of Autodesk, you had huge volume down. But does that mean that anything's going to change fundamentally for the company that's really going to turn everything around? And the answer is generally, historically, not. Generally, these guys say it's a one-time write-off, and then you get into the second one-time write-off, and then you get into like the third one-time write-off, and you really got to see that something's physically changed in the company so that those write-offs are not coming. Not that you can't trade the thing, but don't be surprised to see the next couple of quarters under assault from maybe a few more write-offs that they just didn't figure it out. They do it, and they're writing it off. That's exactly true out here, but I can't remember what is that. From Classic TV? I want to say that was from Classic Movies, Classic TV. Oh, yeah, I do have it.
It's a write-off for them.
How is it a write-off?
They just write it off.
Write it off what?
Jerry, all these big companies, they write off everything.
You don't even know what a write-off is.
Do you?
No, I don't.
But they do. And they're the ones writing it off.
Yes, they are. So just be, there's not many companies out here pre-announcing these kind of issues. This was, of course, a surprise. No real heads up from anybody at Autodesk on this. But again, these cycles, especially, we're going to talk about this in these markets that really get kind of bubbly, which I'm going to say that these markets are. It's not uncommon for these companies to have analysts continually raise their expectations for earnings. And they kind of, if the books aren't roasted gently, they're completely burned to a smithers. And you finally get all these write-offs coming back in. But it's all from the pressure of Wall Street to make earnings month or quarter after quarter. And eventually they can't rob Peter to pay Paul. They come up with these things called one-time write-offs, and you see the kind of reaction you had today. But this kind of cockroach theory. If there's one, there's maybe more. Just keep an eye on this, especially into the next earnings. We'll be back after this.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The Taz Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the Taz Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Taz Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the Taz Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And as we're back, question about what I think about Tesla here. And again, Tesla is one of these companies that perennially has huge short interest. And that's what's extremely dangerous in declining volume markets that we're going to have over the next 21 or so trading days into the end of the year. So what are we looking for? Well, I'll just give you the tale of how heavy this one's being shorted over the last few days. On the 27th, 28%. On the 28th, 28%, and yesterday, 26% shorts positions on it. And this thing really didn't move that much in comparison, fairly nice. So pretty light volume doji out here. The idea on this one is probably to keep a tight leash on it, but maybe getting ready to do some kind of ABC up, which is not going to be huge. But could you get maybe 20, 30, 40 bucks out of it? You probably can. Not going to a lot. It's kind of like Apple. Not a lot's going to change in the numbers. Maybe they can make some announcements of production getting back up. Anything's going to help it. The downside for anybody short this thing is going to be just the declining volume into the end of the year. If you've got Tesla and you've held it to this point, are you going to hold it to the end of the year? And the answer is unless something huge happens, like he takes one of those boring machines and causes the west coast to fall off into the ocean. That's about it. But be wary of these super high, most hated stocks. I'll probably be on the other side of these, either in intraday trades or longer as things go. Real estate moguls. We were talking in the den about Jim Neighbors. Of course, I grew up in Hawaii, and he got there, I think, just like 6 months or a year before we left. And I remember it was a big thing in Hawaii to have anybody that was even semi-famous. But he'd moved there and started buying every area of sugarcane and pineapple, any kind of land that he could find. And he had a bunch of people in Hollywood that gave him money. He was literally buying everything up for the last 20, 30 years into around 2000, which I don't think at that point you couldn't buy any more land. Don't know if he kept it all, but he was, when you don't have anybody, you're on an island that until I left really didn't have air travel. I think I was there for maybe 6 months or a year, maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months, when the 747s came in, and just how quickly an island can change when the price of a ticket goes from, in $1970, $850 round trip to $235 on the 747s. We started seeing a lot of people go. And, of course, I lived my whole life up to that point on that island, never went to the mainland ever. So it's all I knew. But when we came back, it was still on a boat. Give you an idea. So things change. We'll get real exciting in the next segment. I'll talk about 8-tracks and cassettes. That'll get everybody going here. Okay, so what else do we want to look at today? There's a handful of stocks that are making signals, so let's take a look at a few of those. I wanted to see if there's anything out that we'll follow up on the XLF and its particular breakout on what we have for volume. Not uncommon to see this. You had basically 3 big days here, a little bit off the top on the XLF, November 30th. $27.88 for the high today, and he gave about half of it back. These are, if the market does hold up, we're looking for pullbacks back to these breakout areas. In this case, it's 26.93, and so maybe you get a little bit of pullback, you get a little sell the news, and if you're still bullish, these things do start setting up. When we look at XLE, kind of interesting to see that even with crude not moving that much and natural gas down, still seeing a lot of people kind of move to a little bit of safety in the energy sector. Of course, in fact, let's see if Andy responded to my email. Nope, I was trying to see if Andy knew when we were going to find out any more about the OPEC announcements. That's kind of been off the front page at least, either tonight or tomorrow morning. If anybody, there's Andy in the den. Any idea when we're going to have OPEC announcements? It's a done deal. What's the done deal? Maybe I'll type it in the den here. Anyway, we're back up here now on the XLE. The candle I'm really looking at is this one where it really came down on the 14th of November. It did so on 16.5 million shares. You're not doing too bad here with, an hour and 15 minutes to go. You got basically 14 million shares. So you're going to be able to probably get right into that 16.5 million shares. So probably a good shot at retesting the $70.47 high going into that November 7th high. Okay, Libya and Nigeria cap of 2.8. Made some money. Okay. Well, we'll look forward to Andy in the 3 o'clock hour with Tom O'Brien. Maybe he'll give us a little bit more heads up on actually what happens and what happens with Russia, which was all the rage of the discussion. Doesn't seem to have made a lot of difference in the oil price. I just show it up 3 cents. And, of course, gold off $10. So not a lot changing there. Okay, we're going to look at a few others while we have. Was kind of interested in watching UNH break out and up. This thing had a nice consolidation, really going back to October 24th. Went all the way through the 27th. And just this last 3 days, you had decent volume, not as much as you'd like. Again, these things, you got a couple of gaps up here. You got 3, 2.5, 3 gaps out here. Again, any of these things on a pullback might set up a nice trade for next year. Not exactly sure why everybody would be piling into healthcare stocks, but what else can you say? To keep an eye on it. Got an email here asking about the to look at the IWM. To OPEC and allies extend cuts for another 9 months. Okay, nothing big happening. You got one more day up here, and of course, if you're looking at the IWM, you did have a valid breakout. Question is whether you're going to keep going up on this. Of course, if you're looking at the extension, then I'll take a quick look at this one being, we'll get this when we come back, but the A, the B, and the C of it all. Look at it, this when we come back.
It's that time of year again. The TFNN Salvation Army Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale is back. Through this Sunday only, you can get a 25% bonus on any Tiger Dollar purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. This sale only comes around once a year and is one of the most rewarding promotions we have. Tiger Dollars are a great way to add extra savings to any TFNN product or service. Whether you're considering signing up for any newsletter or workshop in the future, or you're already a subscriber, Tiger Dollars offer an immediate savings on any TFNN newsletter, webinar, workshop, or Master Trader series. And they never expire and are fully transferable to friends and family. For all the details and to take part in this special promotion, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this sale ends Sunday, December 3rd. And happy holidays from TFNN. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Come join me next hour as we bisect and dissect these markets. Right here on TFNN. Wow!
Well, with just a couple of minutes to go, let's talk about what's going to go on after the bell. We've got Ultra Salon that was not that long ago, 314 on June 5th. Coming back here to some resistance levels. Of course, this is certainly the kind of stock that the market seems to be enamored with now, both retail coming off the bottom, and, of course, it's a non-tech company. Also, after the bell today is a VMware, BMW. Take a quick look at that. Now, of course, that got hit already and under a little pressure, so we'll keep an eye on that. Ambarella, AMBA. This is the company, of course, that makes the chips for the GoPro cameras. I don't know if it's this quarter or next quarter, but this thing looks like it is cruising for a bruising. Isn't that about 1970? Sounds like it. Other than that, not a lot going on after the bell tonight. You've got Sears Holding, SHLD, circling the drain. And, of course, tomorrow morning, a handful of companies, Big Lots, BIG. So, that one's been rallying right into it. But this one better not just a point. You got 3 nice big days from about 50, a little under $55 up to 60.10 today. Nice move for Big Lots. And, of course, as we said, the XRT was the one, kind of the surprise out of everything. Now, this one came back to resistance today, which is this big gap that goes back to the 5th of January this year when kind of everything took a couple of gaps down. This is also where everybody got short the market. Last time we really saw significant shorting in the equity, and we're back up to those levels too. Make sure to check out Tiger Dollars. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to turn the key in the car or do something else, and you're going to think, you know what, it's time. Got some Tiger Dollars. Time's running out. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.